Hi, welcome to my studio. So this is my studio. It's not very big, it's a very small square footage, but it works perfectly for me. Right behind me is actually my torch from where I do most of my work. So I'm using a Bethlehem Burners torch, which I really enjoy. I just like their knobs and the way the flame comes out. It's a really nice torch to have. I also have some mandrels that I can do varying sizes. Sometimes I like to use thicker ones, sometimes I like to use thinner ones. The ones that I've been using primarily recently have been these little ones, so that's why I used all these here. I also have a container of just some tools that I use at the torch, especially my tweezers, and then my little picks and stuff like that. So I have some stuff set up for some beads and other things that I want to create today, so that's already prepped, and that way I don't have to rush and pull from here as I'm working. And this is just where I'm keeping my color storage right now. I've been messing around with the idea of using PVC pipes to kind of section the colors so it's easier to grab, and I really like that, so I think I'm going to continue that throughout the rest of this storage space that we made. I like to create testers ahead of time, and I have them all lined up here, so I can just take them off and easily see what colors I want to use at that time. So I keep my transparents there, my special colors, and then my opaques up top. Along with any studio, you definitely need good ventilation. So we have that set up right here. We have it for the torch itself, and then also for the kiln. We're using a Paragon glass kiln. And so that's where our exit air is, and then the intake air is on the other side just because we didn't want it to cross over, but you can't really see it behind just the storage up top. Here is also where we keep it so that the studio can be cooled or heated as needed, especially in the winter and summer times, because it does get pretty cold here as well as pretty hot in the summer. Aside from that, I do have this other work area. This one's a little taller, so I can just stand here. I don't always like to sit. And this is just where I put the beads together. Since it's been so cold, I brought quite a bit of stuff inside to work on it, just so I don't have to preheat the studio every time I come out. But this is primarily where I do it. This is where I'll clean the beads off the mandrels, and then also put them together. So here's just like some hearts that I was working on recently. So these will be cleaned in some water, and then ready to go and make some stuff. Aside from rods, we can also use frit to color the glass. So we have a large selection right here. I guess it's not that large, but we have a selection of glass right here of different frit colors. So I have a red, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And then I also just have some other frit that I've just had, as well as white. This is where we're currently storing all of the furnace glass equipment. So you can see we have the annealer here, our furnace in the back, our marver, and then just some other storage of other glass color and other things that we need for the studio itself. And so over here on the other side of that wall is the oxygen tanks as well as the propane tank. And then it feeds into the studio just to add a layer of protection. Fun fact about this studio is that it was originally going to be a chicken coop, but we decided to turn this small space into a studio instead, just as a little interim space for us to use. So this big boy right here is our AC unit. Yep, and then here, I'm gonna try that again.
Whatever.